Hi, grade fives. So today we're going to be talking about the First Nations relationships with the British and the French. We had previously discussed this last week. We looked at three different First Nations groups and how they related to these early settlers who came from Europe and what those relationships looked like, and also some of the positive and negative consequences of their relationships. So, in our brief review last week, we discussed how these early French and British settlers depended on the First Nations and Inuit societies. And they depended on them because the First Nations and Inuit societies had lived on this land much longer, and therefore they had extensive knowledge of the land and its resources. Now, in exchange for this information and this knowledge from the First Nations groups, the French and British traded different items with these groups, and this would result in the beginning of trade relations with one another. And even though in most cases these trade relations seemed positive, this would have a big impact on all of the groups involved. So last week we looked at the Inuit, the Innu, and the Beothuk. This week we're going to look at, well, you're going to investigate the relationships between the British and the French in two new groups. One of these is the Mi'kmaq, and the other group is the Wolastoqiyik group. So you will be working on those this week. But we're going to quickly review information that we would have learned from our book about the Inuit, Innu, and Beothuk, and their relationships with the British and the French. So last week, we saw that the Inuit mainly had a relationship with the British people, and this was because early British settlers came to Newfoundland and Labrador to fish. They also brought with them missionaries. Missionaries are people who come to promote their religion. So in this case, British missionaries also came to promote peace to the Inuit. But in doing so, they kind of had what we call an ulterior motive, meaning that they had another reason for doing what they were doing, because they were trying to keep the Inuit away from all of the fishing that the British were doing in the southern part of Labrador. Because the Inuit were limited in the amount of fishing they were doing, they began to rely on foodstuffs that they were receiving through this trade relationship they had developed with the British. And foodstuffs could include things like flour, sugar, etc. And they did not have any kind of immunity built up to disease. This also lowered their immunity by eating these different foods. As a result, the Inuit became more at risk for disease. The Innu were a group of First Nations people who had regular contact with French missionaries. They traded items with several of the French settlers, and as a result of this interaction, they ended up coming into contact with several diseases. By the 1700s, there had been several different trading companies that had become available, and these trading companies took advantage of the Innu and tried to get them to sell them several animal pelts in exchange for other goods. The Innu, as a result, began to hunt more fox. This was because fox pelt was very popular to these early European settlers. They used it for several things. And because they were hunting more fox for trading, they hunted less caribou. And caribou was something that the Innu had used as a food source. And this change in their hunting led to starvation and death for many of the Innu people. The Beothuk is another group of First Nations who came into contact with early European settlers. In the 1600s, the Beothuk and the British were competing for resources. But by the 1700s, this competition had turned into complete conflict. And the British people ended up trying to force the Beothuk inland and cutting them off from coastal areas. Now, as we know, these coastal areas were really important to the Beothuk people because this is where they got fish, and fish was one of their main sources of food. In some cases, the British tried to force them out so aggressively that they actually ended up killing a lot of the Beothuk people. This interaction between the British and the Beothuk also resulted in the Beothuk developing disease, such as tuberculosis. Because many of the Beothuk did contract tuberculosis, they ended up dying, and their whole First Nations group was actually wiped out. Today, no more Beothuk remain. Now, today you're going to be looking at two groups, and one of these is the Mi'kmaq, and the other one is the Wolastoqiyik. So you're going to read pages 24 to 27 of the attached PDF. And the attached PDF, as you know, is your book, and it's chapter 6 of your book, which has got to do with the positive and negative interactions between these First Nations groups and the early European settlers. Remember that some parts of the table you may not really be able to put any information in, and if you have any parts where you can't add information because there were no positive or negative effects for that group, you were just going to write, there are no negative effects in this group. So I'm going to show you the documents you're going to need to do this assignment very quickly. The first one is the PDF book. As I said, we'll read pages 24 to 27. 25 is about, and 26 and 27 is about the Wolastoqey. Using this information from the book, you're going to fill out the chart. So the interact example for the Mi'kmaq is that they taught the early French settlers about hunting and fishing and about how to make clothes, canoe, and footwear in 16 and 1700s. So you're going to talk out very briefly what were some of the positive results of this interaction for each of the groups and negative results of this interaction for each of the groups. Then you're going to read pages 26 and 27 and do the same for Wolastoqey. So Wolastoqey interacted with early fishers and fur traders from Europe. You're again going to record in the boxes the positive interactions for each group and the negative interactions for each group. Now, I've also included the reflection questions from last week as well, because I think these questions are still really important to think about looking at these two First Nations groups and their interactions with early European settlers. So there are two reflection questions just to review very quickly. Is which of these groups seem to gain the most from these interactions and why? And which groups seem to experience the most negative effects from the interactions and why? So remember, each question contains two parts. So if you write down the names of the groups that had the most positive or negative interactions, you need to explain why this is your answer and not just write the group names. And then once you've done this, I kind of want you to think overall about when you look at all of the different groups that we've discussed over the last two lessons, which groups did see those positive effects from the interactions and negative? This will be important for our lesson next week when we kind of wrap up the unit we're working. So that is it for today. This is your assignment. If you have any questions, you can message me in the classroom, comment on the assignment, send me a Gmail. Please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here to help. And that's it for today, and we chat soon. Bye.